Nestled in the heart of upstate New York, Rochester is a city that beautifully balances the charm of a small town with the vibrancy of urban life. Known for its rich history, innovative spirit, and scenic landscapes, Rochester offers a unique blend of cultural, educational, and recreational opportunities that cater to diverse interests and backgrounds. As a city that once thrived as a hub of industry, Rochester continues to evolve, embracing change while honoring its storied past. With its picturesque setting along the shores of Lake Ontario, the city is a haven for nature lovers and adventure seekers alike. From the lush parks and gardens to the stunning Genesee River that winds through the city, Rochester provides an idyllic backdrop for outdoor enthusiasts. Beyond its natural beauty, Rochester is a cultural treasure trove, boasting a vibrant arts scene, world-class museums, and a rich musical heritage. Home to renowned institutions such as the Eastman School of Music and the George Eastman Museum, the city is a beacon for arts and culture enthusiasts. In these documentaries, we will delve into the many facets of Rochester, exploring its history, cultural landmarks, educational institutions, and recreational offerings. Whether you're a resident, a visitor, or simply curious about this dynamic city, join us on a journey to uncover the essence of Rochester, New York.
The Rochester Red Wings and the Pawtucket Red Sox, two teams from the AAA International League, played the longest game in professional baseball history over 3 days in 1981. The game lasted 33 innings with 8 hours and 25 minutes of playing time. The first 32 innings were played overnight from April 18 to 19, 1981, at McCoy Stadium in Pawtucket, Rhode Island, and the tie-breaking 33rd inning was played June 23, 1981. Pawtucket won the game 3-2 time. As the innings piled up, both teams had multiple opportunities to clinch victory, but circumstances continually shifted. In the bottom of the ninth, Pawtucket's Russ Larrabee drove in Chico Walker, with a sacrifice fly to tie the game at 1 run each. The extra innings saw intense moments, including Wade Boggs driving in a tying run in the bottom of the 21st inning, much to the dismay of his teammates who were eager for a resolution. The game was played under freezing conditions, causing players to burn broken bats and wooden benches for warmth. The wind's interference turned potential home runs into mere flyouts, further extending the game. Numerous records were set, including one by Rochester's Dallas Williams, who went 0 for 13 in 15 plate appearances. As the game continued through the night and into the early hours of Easter morning, it became clear that this was no ordinary match. In most leagues, a curfew rule would have suspended play to prevent games from continuing indefinitely. Typically, the International League's curfew would activate at 12:50 a.m. However, an oversight meant that home plate umpire Dennis Craig's copy of the rule book did not include this important detail. As a result, the teams were left to continue their marathon match. Game was tightly contested, with neither team willing to give an inch. In the bottom of the ninth inning, a moment of drama unfolded as Pawtucket's Russ Larrabee hit a sacrifice fly that allowed Chico Walker to score, tying the game at 1 run each. This pivotal moment sent the game into extra innings, where the players would face exhaustion and an ever-growing sense of disbelief at the length of the match. As the innings dragged on, both teams had opportunities to clinch victory, but circumstances kept the game in a deadlock. Several times, it seemed one team would emerge victorious, only for the tide to turn once again. One such moment occurred when Wade Boggs drove in the tying run in the bottom of the 21st inning after Rochester had scored. Even the Pawtucket players groaned at this turn of events. Boggs later recalled, "I didn't know if the guys on the team wanted to hug me or slug me." The conditions under which the game was played were far from ideal. The weather was bitterly cold, and in their desperation to stay warm, players resorted to burning broken bats and even the wooden benches from the stadium. As the game progressed, the clubhouses ran out of food, adding to the players' discomfort and fatigue. The wind played a significant role in the game's progression, blowing into the infield and making it difficult for players to hit successfully. Dave Koza of Pawtucket later remarked that under normal conditions, his team would have won in 9 innings as 4 or 5 shots would have been out of the park. One notable example was Sam Bowen's fly ball to center, which initially seemed destined to leave the field but was blown back into the hands of Rochester outfielder Dallas Williams. Luis Aponte, a relief pitcher for Pawtucket, played an unexpectedly extended role in this epic encounter. After taking the mound in the 7th inning, Aponte continued to pitch until the 10th inning. Despite his efforts, the game continued on, stretching into the early hours of the morning. Joe Morgan, Pawtucket's manager, had his hands full managing the team through these prolonged innings. In the 22nd inning, Morgan faced his own challenge when he was ejected from the game by the umpire, Craig. As the game dragged on without him, Morgan allowed Aponte to leave the stadium before the conclusion of the game, acknowledging the toll it was taking on the players. When Aponte arrived home at 3 a.m. on Sunday, he faced skepticism from his wife, who found his story hard to believe. Aponte assured her that the Sunday newspaper would verify his account of the game. However, due to the late postponement of the game, the newspaper did not cover it until the Monday edition. This left Aponte in an awkward position, having to wait until the next day to prove his seemingly tall tale. The game commenced and stretched into the early hours of the morning. By 4 a.m. the players were delirious from exhaustion. Rochester's Dave Huppert had heroically caught the first 31 innings before finally being replaced. Meanwhile, Jim Umbarger delivered an impressive performance, pitching 10 scoreless innings from the 23rd inning onwards, striking out 9 batters and allowing only 4 hits. As the game wore on, Pawtucket's general manager, Mike Tamburro, reached out to Harold Cooper, the president of the league. Sometime after 3 a.m. Horrified by the unfolding events, Cooper ordered that play be halted at the end of the current inning. Finally, at 4:07 a.m., after more than 8 grueling hours on the field, the game paused at the conclusion of the 32nd inning. Despite the late hour, 19 steadfast fans remained in their seats, excluding David Craig, who had fallen asleep. As a token of appreciation for their dedication, they received season or lifetime passes to McCoy Stadium. As the weary players headed home to rest, they witnessed people heading to Easter sunrise services, a surreal juxtaposition of endurance and tradition. The game did not resume immediately. Although Harold Cooper had suggested continuing on Sunday, Rochester's manager, Doc Edwards, requested a delay due to concerns over potential injuries. The game finally resumed on Tuesday, June 23, when the Rochester Red Wings returned to town. On that evening, a sellout crowd of 5,746, along with 140 reporters from around the world, gathered to witness the conclusion. The major leagues were on strike, which added to the heightened interest. The players had voted against resuming the game at Fenway Park to avoid crossing a picket line. In just 1 inning and 18 minutes, the game concluded with Koza driving in the winning run for Pawtucket, ending the historic match at the bottom of the 33rd inning. Steve Grilli, who had joined Rochester since the game's suspension, was the losing pitcher. The Pawtucket Red Sox and Rochester Red Wings commemorated the 25th anniversary of this legendary game on June 23, 2006. Many players from both teams attended a luncheon and roundtable discussion in Providence, Rhode Island, followed by a pregame ceremony before a game against the Columbus Clippers. Dennis Craig noted that his nephew, David Craig, who had unintentionally slept through part of the historic game, had likely never attended another baseball game. This extraordinary event remains etched in baseball lore, symbolizing the tenacity and determination of athletes and fans alike.